Yo, what is up, it's your boy Jay Johnny back here in Perrim's Underworld. Hey, how you doing today, you beautiful people? Today we're going to be talking about the 7 most powerful conjurers because I split this up into so many different videos, and I'm kind of regretting it because I'm like thinking back on like how I did the Overworld and the Underworld ones, and I'm like, there are technically two different classes for Overworlders and Underworlders, and so it's like, but Mepetians get 4 because they deserve 4. I honestly think the Mepetians, they just have the classifications matter so much more in Mepetians than they do in any other tribe. So, yeah. Anyways, there was only like 9 Mepetian conjurers, so this is gonna be a very easy list to like rank. Because there are just objectively better conjurers, and they are pretty easy to place in the right order. The top 3 might be a little like interchangeable, but I think I got them in the good order. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started with this. Start off, we have Drameze. He reduces the recklessness damage by 10 from Warbeast. Almost all of the conjurers reduce recklessness damage. Okay, so I'll just say the quantity, and then I won't talk about the fact like it's Warbeast or whatever going forward. So if Drameze has no Mugen counters, then it sacrifices itself, which is a good combo with Gloss, the conjurers in the discard pile, so you can cast the Argiato, and then you can move around the gear, cast Geargiano during the battle, and then start flipping stuff down. I mean, it's honestly gives you a lot of options, creative options with utility, and he also starts with 2 Mugen counters, so you have a lot of range with what you can do with Drameze. There's not much to talk about with the conjurers themselves, so I'm just gonna briefly give like a little rundown of what you could do with each one, to fully utilize it. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, the best thing you can do with Drameze is just use support and then let it die so the gloss gets a bonus. That's the best thing you can do. Is it worth it having a creature that just kind of dies? Yeah, kinda. It kinda is. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into the next one, which is a Beck. You reduce the recklessness damage to Warbeast you control by 10 for each elemental type that Warbeast has. Most Warbeast have 2 elements. This will obviously make it to where Chaor doesn't reduce its stats. It doesn't reduce its recklessness at all. But for the most part, you're going to be reducing at least 1 element. And in some cases, like Blazivitan, you're reducing 2. And I mean, Blazivitan has 25 recklessness. You're reducing it by 20. You're only taking 5 recklessness, and that's if you don't have another. Conjure on the board. If you have 2 Hubecks on board, you can effectively reduce your Warbeast down by 40 recklessness. So if you cast Carnivorous Keening, then you're also able to make sure that you're not taking recklessness from the Keening's recklessness additional effect. So that's a little fun thing. Another fun thing is he also has 60 wisdom and 60 speed, which makes him kind of like a fighter. He's not necessarily a fighter, but he's kind of like a fighter. If you're forced to go into combat with him, I mean, he can make some speed checks. So it's worth pointing out, you shouldn't be fighting with Hubek if you're playing Hubek, but if you do find yourself in a situation where you're using Hubek as combat, then I mean, like, if you're using speed-oriented builds, then Hubek can at least make some checks. And it can reduce the recklessness damage up to 40 with just a single by 40, with just a single copy. If you're playing Castle Stronghold, for example, you can make it to where, I just said that name so wrong. But whatever. You can make it to where all your creature has 40, has all 4 elements, and then or you can use Battle Gear to give yourself additional elements. It just is a good utility tool. Definitely better, but I mean, I definitely think it was worth mentioning just because of the fact that like it can go up to just base 40 by itself, which is the highest reduction in recklessness damage that one singular conjure can give. Next up, we have to do Byakugan. So Byakugan here reduces recklessness by 10, and then he also can use a music counter to reduce recklessness by 10 again until the end of the turn. In Chaotic, when something says the end of the turn, it means the end of the entire turn. So not just like I play my attack and I take 10 less damage. Instead, it's until either you or I die, then we're not at the end of turn. So this can technically reduce recklessness damage by 30, which is just really, really good. Really good, really good. Most creatures have 20, a range of 20. So you can cast Carnivorous Keening and reduce that recklessness damage again by 10. So, and then that'll make it to where it takes 0 for Plasmatan. Plasmatan will be taking like 5 extra damage, but I mean, like, that's fine, right? Like, that's... Oh no. it's like Plasmatan having a stone mail effectively, right? So really, really, really cool ability. I mean, like, it's, again, when it comes to these, all I can really do is talk about the effectiveness of their abilities. There's nothing really to say about these cards. They don't have notable stats, so it's really just talk about the effectiveness of the abilities. He also has 2 music counters just to start off with, so even if you don't plan on using his ability, you do still have the option by having 2 music counters, and unlike Jamise, who dies after he uses all his music counters, Bealkin will remain on the board to provide that additional 10 reduction, so... yeah. fun. Next up, call to action. Subscribe and like the video. Check out the link tree in the description down below. I'm going to be posting on other social media accounts going forward. So if you guys want to see, like, you know, like my thoughts on Chaotic Survival, or if some news happens, I'll probably be posting about it going forward before I upload a video, just because it's easier for me to press tweet than it is for me to actually post a video. Like, I have to actually sit down, record the video, edit the video, cut out any issues, re-record the video if I, like, mess up, my mic messes up or anything like that. So definitely follow me on Twitter or on Instagram down in the description down below. And then also there's a giveaway video in the comment section down below. All you have to do to enter in the giveaway for a Takinom promo. Stats are really bad, but it's a Takinom promo all the same. And it is a global giveaway. All you have to do is go to that video, comment in the comment section down, and comment on that video's comment section telling me your favorite creature. It's really simple, and it's a worldwide giveaway. I'll pay for shipping. You guys get the card, right? So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and continue with the video. Here is Rainin. Here's where I think it starts to get interesting, right? Like, I feel like here is the point where I have more to say than just the ability. So to start off, Rainin has the standard reduction of 10, reduce their recklessness damage by 10. But he also has an ability that allows you to use a music counter to heal 10 damage to target creature. Now, there's better options to heal. Like I've been saying, like, this entire video is Carnivorous Keening, right? Heals 30, gives additional 10 reckless, right? But this is a good on-print effect where you don't have to be running specific musics to heal, to get out of range. On top of that, he also starts with 2 musics, so that's 20 heals. You can equip him with the Revita Flower to make it to where he heals an additional 20 on top of that, because Revita Flower, you can sacrifice it and give a Conjurer 2 music counters, so I mean, like, he can get up to 40 just by having a Revita Flower equipped to him. I mean, and then you can heal mid-burst to survive music or attacks, and it allows a lot of counterplay. That's definitely one of the more technical, like, you know, things about Chaotic is, like, you know, healing on the burst. But I think it's a very important thing to note because it's, I mean, you can go, okay, well, I'm going to attack, or wait to see if they do anything, attack, and then on the burst, when your recklessness would kill you, you can in response to your recklessness, activate Rainin's ability to get out of range, for example, something like that. So I think Rainin has a lot more niche cases usages that, like, you know, I could honestly get into for a while and just explain, like, you know, like, oh, well, there's this specific circumstance if you're playing against Underworld Burn where you can heal out of range of specific attack effects, but we're not going to get into that. But yeah, that's effectively what Rainin is, right? So Rainin is a very powerful card. The next 3, I think, are just objectively better. I think these next 3 will just make Rainin kind of look like a tech option, right? So next up we have Apple. We have Apple here. So to start off, he has 60 wisdom, which is honestly very good for a conjurer. I mean, obviously early in the video it is 60 wisdom, 60 speed, but I mean here we have 60 wisdom, and he reduces recklessness damage to war beast you control by 10 for each music counter on him. Now, so he's only getting a flat 10, right? But when a war beast you control becomes a target of a music ability your opponent controls, Apple gains a music counter. So if your opponent is like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna try to just like burn down. I'm gonna try to burn down your Blasbatan or something, right? And just get it out of the way now. You can have Apple gain music counters, and then you can also, like, you know, cast Song of Shelter or something like that, right? In response to the music. So Apple still is, sees the card being targeted, gains a music counter. Obviously, you have to wait until after the burst to use that music counter, but he does have a music counter on him currently that would allow you to cast a Song of Shelter, right? So, very good card, very good card. You can combine them with Revita Flower or Magician's Lyre and increase the reduction as well. So if you have a Revita Flower and you flip it and you attach it and you use the ability to give Apple, you know, 2 music counters, then you're looking at a base 30 reduction, and almost every single War Beast outside of Chaor is just instantly just better. You can attach, you can give Blasbatan the Power Leash, and that'll make it to where Blasbatan has Reckless as 30, and that still will mean the Blasbatan won't be doing any damage to himself. So, Apple is a very powerful tool. I don't get why he doesn't see more play. I like him. He's really cool. And look at that fox in the background. I can't wait until we get that as a chaotic card. That'll be sick. Ganon, that's the next one you need to print. You hear me, Ganon? You hear me, Brian Ganon? That's the next one you got to print. Is that fox right there? Okay. Next up we have Soffle. Soffle is honestly, Soffle is probably my favorite whenever it comes to Conjurers. He has 60 speed, which is noteworthy. Like I've been saying, 60 does meet checks, so it's not the worst card to have. And yeah, so, but he also reduces the reckless damage dealt to War Beast you control by 10 for each on Soffle, just like Apple. Except this is just a base 10. However, it starts out at 20 instead of 10. So where Soffle requires your opponent to do something, or where Apple requires your opponent to do something to where he gets additional counters, Soffle just starts that way. Which makes sense. He's a super, so obviously he should be better. And then you can combine him with Revita Flower and Magician's Lyre to increase the reduction. So if you flip a Revita Flower, right, and you sacrifice it to attach to music counters to Soffle, Soffle will be at 40. Meaning Chaor is only doing 10 reckless damage, right? So you combine two Soffles and, like, you know, one Revita Flower onto one of those Soffles, and you're looking at a reduction of 50 or of 60, and that's just going to be enough to make it to where, you know, you're not doing any reckless damage to yourself using Chaor. So very powerful conjure. And then he also, if that wasn't enough, he also has a brainwashed ability, which I think he's the only one, right, that had that? Yeah, he's the only one that had that, where he increases the recklessness damage dealt to War Beast by 10 for each music counter on him. So if you're playing a Marillion deck, you can also run Soffle in your, if you have a chieftain, you can run Soffle on that team as well, just as a support in case you run into like Chaor or something like that, and you're making it to where you're negating their Soffle or their Conjurers, or mitigating the amount of reduction that they have, which is not necessarily probably going to help you in a fight against Chaor, but like it is a tech option. So I mean, like, I think that, you know, the ability to have options makes Soffle slightly better, just slightly better, than the ones that don't. So last up, we have our last entry, and it's going to be Alov. Everybody saw this coming. It reduces the total damage dealt to War Beast you control by 5. Notice it doesn't say recklessness. It reduces all damage by 5. He also has 2 above average stats, which are 60 wisdom and 75 speed. I mean, and then if that's not enough, he has air and earth. And if that's not enough, he has a music counter. I mean, this creature is a beast. It is a beast in disguise. It makes it to where cannon to casualty cast by Copond only does 50 with 2 of them, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the average energy is 60, so they can't just like instantly one shot one of your creatures. Very powerful ability to reduce all incoming damage. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. I mean, it doesn't obviously negate damage, but it does reduce damage. So if your opponent's like playing an attack that only does 5, for example, just like a 0 build point card, and then they play it, I mean, it just, you're not taking any damage from that attack. And then, like, again, it reduces your recklessness, it reduces the amount of damage from music, the amount of damage from abilities, battle gears, etc. It just doesn't make a difference to what Alov reduces. So Alov is honestly just the number one. I'd be hard pressed to hear somebody say that Alov isn't number one. He is an auto include in every single War Beast deck. If you're not including him in every single War Beast deck, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but you need to reevaluate. And so that being said, that is the last of them. This is the end of the video, so make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Check out the link tree in the description down below and the giveaway video in the comments. Again, I just want to give you guys cards. That's all I want to do, right? I just want to give away my cards. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. 500 sub giveaway for 3 max blades and a coral husk armor. So I'm trying to hit the 500 subs. I want to show Ganon that we're still active. We're still here. All you got to do is sub to the channel. I mean, once we hit 500, guys, I mean, let 3 max blades and a coral husk armor, it's going into the giveaway pile, the same as with the Takinom, okay? So, that being said, I have been J Johnny, this has been Perrim's Underworld, and I'll be seeing you guys later in another video. Thanks for stopping by the Port Court.